Alright guys, today we are talking about my 5 favorite places to buy camera gear. Now, these are all my own bias, but I know that a lot of people buy from these places just because it's either the cheapest, most helpful, the most reliable. So, you know, take all this with a grain of salt, but I definitely feel like these are some really good places to get camera gear from. First place, Craigslist. Yes, Craigslist can be a little sketch. It can be a little weird sometimes. You don't quite know who you're meeting up with, but you can still find some really good deals. I'm gonna show you guys right now if you don't know what Craigslist is. Basically, it's just a really nice app or website that you can go on to and find different things for sale. I'm going to go to photo and video. Let's just do all and see what we can find. Most of this stuff is in my area, and that's the nice thing about this, is I can find someone and pick this gear up. Now, the problem I have with Craigslist is there's just never that much good stuff on here. Like, I got a really good steal a few weeks ago where I got a gimbal from Craigslist. It was a great deal. But you're not always gonna be finding the exact thing you want. In fact, I would say more times than not, you're gonna be having to sift through some like really old stuff or some stuff that just doesn't pertain to you whatsoever. You're gonna find a lot of like just normal like point and shoot digital cameras. So it can be good. That's why it's important to hunt through these websites when you're looking through gear, not just do a casual look over. On to the next resource, number 4. For number 4, you know we gotta do eBay. eBay is such an important app, especially for photographers. You can find so much good gear on eBay and you can find it used. Now the tricky thing is sifting through all the like people that buy these cameras and things in bulk to get to the actual deals. But the neat thing is they make it really easy for you to find these deals. So let's say I want to search for an A7 III. Then I can filter, go into condition. So if I don't mind a few scratch and dings, I can find something like that. I can go into open box or even new condition. I can search for my price minimum and maximum. I can even type in my location. So I'm not going, you know, overseas or anything if you don't want to pay that overseas shipping, which can be a kick in the butt. I like eBay personally, just because when you're shipping a lot of this stuff, it can be insured through PayPal. That is a nice, like, breath of fresh air. Everyone knows when you're moving around this much money and you're spending this much money on something, you want to make sure you're not getting scammed. You're not getting bested, you're getting exactly what you asked for. Next up, I have Facebook Marketplace. Facebook Marketplace has become the new Craigslist for me. I like that I can go on to Facebook Marketplace, find a good local provider of this gear, and meet them in person. It is one of the biggest perks of Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace. To be able to test my product before I actually purchase it, such a perk. You know, you can buy something on eBay and let's say it's a camera, you buy it used and they swear it works great, but maybe they know that 7 out of 10 times it works good, but those other 3 times it like maybe glitches or something. There's something wrong that you may not notice unless you actually look for it. That's where Facebook Marketplace shines. I always suggest test your gear if you're buying in person. If you have that opportunity, do it. So as you can see on Facebook Marketplace, it is just really easy just to search exactly what you're looking for. Right here, I can get a Sony a7S II. We can also scroll down a little more and just see if we can find any good deals. Again, not everything on Facebook Marketplace is gonna be catered to your area, but you have the option to find something in your area. And if you can't, you can definitely find someone who will ship something to you. All right guys, so we're moving on to the last two. The big reason for this next spot is how reputable it is. And it's B&H Photo and Adorama. I kind of put them together because they really kind of work in tandem, like they're so close to each other. I prefer B&H just because they have a really good retail store in New York. If you're ever up in New York, you can visit it. It is super cool. But they just have a really good system of helping you find exactly what you want to find. I almost always buy used gear. I like buying used gear for the same reason that I will almost always buy a used car. You are getting it for such a discounted cost, and especially when you're buying from B&H, they have a rating system that really helps you sift through all the garbage and find a really good used camera for a decent discounted price. So if you go in here, all you have to do, see our selection. I'm a mirrorless guy, so I'm gonna go to digital photography. Then I can hit mirrorless cameras and see how easy it is to sift through everything you want. I already have Sony selected. You can go through and find exactly what you want. You can go body only, kits. Let's say I wanna buy the Sony Alpha R3. I can also go in here once I click it, see the ratings and reviews on it, and then I can go over to the specifications and see everything that it provides. It's really nice to be able to do that because sometimes when you're going through Amazon or you're going through eBay, you can't see all the specs. It's nice to not have to look up exactly what you're buying. And that's the tricky thing about eBay or Amazon. You know, when you're buying these things, sometimes the description can be a little deceiving. That's where it's really cool to be able to buy from a source that has used gear for really cheap and they're telling you exactly what you're getting. The other thing I love about B&H is so many people, when they think about cameras, they think about cameras and lenses. But when you're buying camera gear, it's so much more than that. Right now, I'm using a mic. I use a lighting system. I use tripods. I use stands. So to be able to find all of that in one place, and again, you can find it for used if you want it to on a really reputable website, is just such an easy, great shopping experience. And it helps me feel a little more confident about my purchases, which when you're buying camera gear, you want to feel. All right, guys, lastly, and this is the hidden gem. This is the place that'll help you find something for cheap. It is called Fred Miranda, and it is a beautiful website filled with tons and tons of cheap gear. The tricky thing about this website is there's so much stuff on it and it can be hard to filter through it all. The other thing is there are scammers on it. You have to be careful and you have to make sure you are purchasing stuff with PayPal, or if you want to know something about the latest gear, know what's coming out, maybe talk to people about some camera gear you're thinking about buying but you don't really know any photographers. This is a great place to do it. You can find lots of good advice, a really good photography community, and again, just find some really good used cheap gear. I hope you guys found that information useful. I know a little bit of it can be dry, but it's really good stuff to know if you're planning on getting into photography or videography. If you guys liked it, please leave me a thumbs up. Please subscribe if you haven't. See you guys later. Deuces.